All right, we are back. Just kicking it in the building. Man, we got my big brother in the building, man. We talk about him a lot on the show. He sends us comments to make sure that we on point when it comes to Arsenal. At all times, my man B-Dub is on with us. Thanks, man.
What up? What up? What up?
Man, so
Yeah,
before
definitely.
we get into the show, man, so how did you become an Arsenal fan? Like, we always ask people like how they join their club and how they came a part of their club.
Because I like black people. It's because I like black people. No, but for real though, Thierry Henry was like my first introduction in the my first year in law school, which would have been 2000. So I was kind of hip on like who Manchester United was and who Liverpool was. But Thierry Henry just kind of became a big deal to me because I used to go to a couple of bars with some of my white law school colleagues, and they would be like, hey, come to this bar with us and let's look at these soccer teams. And I'm like, fuck soccer. All right, whatever. So I went to a couple of the bars, and one time, and no shade, Daryl, but just one time I watched United play Arsenal, and Thierry Henry was running circles around these motherfuckers. Like, he was everywhere. And I was just like, dude, like, how are y'all rooting for these white boys when this black dude is over here just destroying everything? And, like, he's handsome, too. So it's not like he's not marketable. Yeah. So because he's black, y'all don't want to mess with him. So then I started kind of rooting for him. So when I would go with them, I would just kind of root for Arsenal. And then I started just, like, really understanding the sport, rooting for Arsenal, and then rooting for the French national team because he was a French national. So that's just kind of how it went, man. And then from there, it just grew and grew to the point where we go to London every year. Also, coincidentally, typically for the Chelsea match, go to London every year for the Arsenal-Chelsea match. And, just chopping it up, man, when I'm over there and just rooting for the team. So, yeah, so that's my squad. Day one.
Yeah, so what was the French dude that supposed to been the first Henry? I can't remember his name. That was like he was on the French dude that he was on Arsenal before Henry. That was supposed to be like the truth. And then basically he was just basically messing around. He had his brother as his agent, like in the late 90s, early 2000s.
I'm trying to think because
and then basically Henry became what he thought he was gonna be. He was on the French national team too.
I got to think about that because what begat Henry was Ian Wright. Bergkamp and Ian Wright are the ones that.
Yeah, it's another dude, man. He's a French dude. He was dropping ball. He was like only there for like a year and a half.
Okay, I had to think about that.
Yeah, because he ended up like walking out on the French national team when they won the World Cup. Okay, he was mad because he only played on like 8 minutes in the final.
Okay, and that's probably about right because Wenger, the manager, brought in a bunch of French nationals, especially for like the Invincibles, and like once you got past Ian Wright and Bergkamp, you got Vieira. I mean, that whole Invincibles team was laden with French citizens, French nationals, French players. So yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Because you're talking about was it Sylvian Wiltord was before Henry? Yeah, the French national.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was like the truth because he came up through like Barcelona or something, and like he was like how they like talk about Xavi Simons right now. That he was like the first one of like these wonder kids.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into Champions League, man. Arsenal's back in Champions League this year. Chelsea is what is Chelsea doing now, Brandon? I'm not sure.
Cheap shot, man. Cheap shot.
I mean, what did y'all win? Didn't y'all win what was the cup y'all won over in America? What was that? You were bigging up the cup.
Yeah. Confederations Cup or summer league cup. Yeah. Hey, they all count. They all trophies. Winners medals.
Chelsea don't have no European tournaments this year, huh?
Next year.
All right, let's go Group A, man. Bayern Munich, my man United, Copenhagen, and Galatasaray in Group A. How you thinking about it, B-Dub?
I mean, obviously Bayern Munich is, Bayern Munich. I was very happy to avoid them in a group stage, not because we can't beat Bayern Munich, and by we I mean Arsenal, but more just because you don't want to. If you play with Bayern Munich, you already know home and away you might get a loss. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like coming out of group stage, you aiming for first and happy with second with Bayern Munich in there. So obviously that's that's really all you're concerned with out of there. I mean, that's all I'm concerned with because Arsenal's top notch. So really, all I'm talking about for every question you ask me, my response is going to be, how does Arsenal match up with these teams?
Homer, yeah, no,
all day.
Yeah,
but what about you, B? What do you think about this group?
Yeah, I definitely agree with B Dub's assessment on Bayern Munich, especially retooling with Harry Kane. I mean, that's the big dog of the group. That's easy. They're going to advance. I like Galatasaray.
Here we go. I knew the hate was coming. I was waiting. I knew the hate was coming.
No, it's no hate. No, I'm just objective. They've been very successful in Turkey. I see that. Yeah, I see them navigating the group. Absolutely.
It's a hard place to play. Traditionally going over there to play there in their place.
Bounce of the ball, bad weather, rainy night. Yeah.
And Daryl, I mean, we'll get to it this Sunday notwithstanding. I mean, y'all just don't look good. You know what I'm saying? No. Like, I mean, United's going to end up being good. They started off last year looking like crap. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they're going to be fine. But just right now, they don't look good. So if you ask me for an honest opinion on the draw, yeah, United's going to show up when they play Arsenal on Sunday because that's a rivalry game. But if you ask me, like, do I feel like United is guaranteed to come out of this group? I'd have to say no. I mean, obviously, for your sake, I hope they do. And I just like big names in the Champions League. But, it's not a given.
I mean, I don't know, man. We're not going to lose at home, even at Bayern.
What?
Who will we? When's the last home game we lost?
Brandon,
I'm dead serious. That's a real serious question. You have to look up. It's been 2 years since we lost a home game.
When did y'all play Bayern last?
We haven't played Bayern in
exactly
7 years, and we beat them the last time we played.
When was this?
6-7 years ago, and we beat them.
Nearly a decade.
In Champions League.
So we just okay.
Yeah, I don't think that has any bearing.
I'm not saying that we're not going to win at that place, but I'm saying that we're not going to roll over at home. We're going to lose on the road for sure. I'm not even going to contest that. But at home, we'll beat Bayern at home.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll come in second. We'll come in second, and the only reason we'll come in second, I feel, this is an honest opinion on this, is Harry Kane's gonna put up like 6 goals on Copenhagen, and it's gonna be a goal differential thing. And
all right,
that is a concern. No,
that's the problem. He's gonna put up 4 or 5 on 6 on Copenhagen in two legs.
All
right. Next one is. We got Group B. This is the group. I call this a Europa group.
That's what it is.
Wow.
That's what it is.
I couldn't have asked for a better group.
Sevilla, Arsenal, PSV, and Lens.
PSV, Sevilla. They're tough outs, but they're not. Arsenal shouldn't lose a match in this group. I'm just being real. They shouldn't lose a match. And they definitely shouldn't lose a combined home. Like if you counted home and away, which you don't in group, but if you counted their home and away, they would win a home and away against either of these teams. Like I couldn't have asked for a better group. If Arsenal doesn't win the group, that's on them. What
about you, B?
Yeah, I definitely got Arsenal coming through, but it's hard pick for me on Sevilla or PSV. They both got crazy home stadiums. Them environments are ruckus for their respective leagues, and so anything can happen. But I do lean towards Sevilla, just more experience, in them kind of moments. But definitely Arsenal should push through for sure.
I'm going PSV because Sevilla likes to win the Europa. So they just want to go down.
Go down.
Yeah, let's just go down. Let's just go. We got our bag for going to the Champions League for the group stage. Let's go back down so we can get back up again and just make it a circle. So I'm going PSV as the second team.
Fair.
All right. Group C, we've got Napoli, Real Madrid, Braga, and Union Berlin.
I mean, we're not going to bet against Real Madrid.
Not at all.
So they've proven themselves.
Yeah.
So we're good with them. Napoli's always a tough out. Bundesliga doesn't impress me too much. So, Union Berlin, I mean, that is what it is. Braga, I haven't seen them play enough to have an opinion other than, Real Madrid is Real Madrid, and that's pretty much a given out of that group.
Yeah, it's a simple group. I'm going with that too. What about you, B?
Yeah, I'm with B Dub. I think he's spot on. And talking about goal differential, Osimhen at Napoli, I think he could score goals for
Yep.
fun against this group
Yep.
outside of Real Madrid. So that's something to keep an eye on. Yeah.
All right, Group D: Benfica, Inter Milan, RB Salzburg, and Real Sociedad.
Now that's a more interesting group.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I feel like just on recent history and just on talent level, it's hard to bet against Inter on that one. But shit, Real Sociedad has been a problem, and they're a solid squad. I again, me and Bundesliga, I don't know what to expect from any of those squads, so I don't know. But Benfica, they're another tough out. That's a tough group. I would go with Inter, and I don't know who's going to finish second. I would probably go with Real Sociedad, but I'm not sure.
What you be?
Yeah, I like Benfica coming through easily, but my pick would be Salzburg, man. They've been doing their
Really,
thing.
really.
A lot of experience. They're obviously a club that develops talent. I think this is where we see another wonder kid, somebody break onto the scene and really shine. Or the next one up for Liverpool, right? So,
I mean, they just lost Sesko though. Salzburg just lost
They
Sesko.
did.
I mean, that was
yeah.
a big one. Just like PSV, PSV was super. Like if this is a PSV team last year, I would have said they would have challenged Arsenal with Xavi Simmons, with
Right.
Gakpo, with all. I forgot the other cat. Well, they
Yeah.
got De Jong still, but they would have challenged more. I felt like if they would have had those players. Same thing with some of your RB Salzburg. All right, next up, we got Group E: Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, and Celtic.
I mean, look, man. Again, I hate just going big names groups, man. But you know, Atletico Madrid is they just show up in Champions League, man. It's just hard to bet against them, and they're well managed. It's just hard to bet against them. I only saw Lazio play once last year. So, and when I saw them, they weren't impressive. But that being said, I know they have a squad because the squad last year was good. Um, Celtic, they're in positioning also to try to get Tierney from us back. I mean, they're Celtics. Celtics are always a consistent squad in a mediocre league. So I don't, and I have no opinion on Feyenoord. Like I don't know.
I mean, they won the Dutch league. I mean,
Yeah, I
that's
know,
fair.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I know, but come on.
I mean, no, I mean, but I'm just saying. I mean, Ajax last year balled out. Ajax has balled out for the last 4 or 5 years coming out the Dutch league.
And
Nah, that was that's what Ten
producing young
Heisenberg.
talents. They also producing young talents. Maduike, came from there. So they
Yes, right.
wingers, attackers coming out of there. But for me, man, I got a Atletico Madrid and I got Lazio. I think Lazio can steal a game from you. Them tough defensive, 1-0 sort of games. I think they excel in there.
And Immobile, they got Immobile still,
Yep.
even though he's a little bit older. He still can put up goals if you need him to.
Yep.
So that's the key. I'm agreeing with y'all on that Lazio Atletico Madrid. This is like the hellified group of death, Group F. No, like I don't think I've ever seen a group like
Nah,
this ever, and
it's
this
the
is the
best
way
group
it
I've ever
felt.
seen.
Yeah, and it's PSG, Dortmund, Milan, Newcastle.
Hey man, you gonna hate me for this.
Oh,
You're gonna hate me for this. I think Newcastle wins that group. I think,
oh, thanks. So you hating on LSG? I call PSG LSG now since they
yeah,
lost.
man.
Since they lost,
I
they ain't got
think,
nobody left with Mbappe now.
nah, man. My assessment of PSG is, look, man, it's easy to ball out in a league where Lacazette played for Arsenal and scored 4 goals and then went there and scored damn near 30. Like it's easy to play in a league where Balogun is like second leading and scoring. Like that league is okay.
Behind Lacazette, right?
Yeah, right behind Lacazette and Mbappe. Like that league is okay. But all I'm gonna say is they wouldn't be doing that in the Premier League. And Newcastle's a problem. And Newcastle gets Willock back before Champions League. Newcastle is a problem from front to back, especially with Willock controlling the midfield, which is one of the reasons why they're not like coming out the gate, because people don't understand how important their midfield is. Like you look
You
at
got Tonali
Isak.
too. They got Tonali too.
Yep. So for me, I just think from top to bottom, I feel like from top to bottom, actually Newcastle and Dortmund are the best teams. But it's hard to not say PSG is not going to come out of a group stage. So I'm going to say Newcastle and PSG, but in my mind, I'm thinking Newcastle and Dortmund can come out of that. And Milan's always a tough out too. So
I'm going with PSG Milan.
Yes.
I'm with BW. I think it's definitely going to be Dortmund and Newcastle. I like what Newcastle is building too. I think that PSG is taking a step back.
What's going to be interesting is going to be if he does not make Champions League knockout stage. Does he go ahead and just I'm out? I'm like, literally, y'all, I've done the best I can, and that's why I don't think he's getting that extension.
And then look at Christian Pulisic at AC Milan, man. He looked like he had rejuvenated his career.
Yeah,
and then Rafael Leo on the other side of him too. That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's a crazy group. There's no right answers in this, honestly.
I mean, I think there is a right answer. I think if you look at Newcastle's squad, dude, I think Newcastle is a problem, dog. Like I think there is a right answer.
Is there a way? Is there a Buffalo Wild Wings situation where they will not let Mbappe not get to the knock? Is there a situation where we will see just something ridiculous happen where there is a penalty somewhere that happens out of nowhere and PSG squeaks through?
You could see it. And let's be clear, PSG doesn't suck.
No,
I mean
they got Dembele too. They just got Dembele.
Yeah, like they don't suck. We're just talking. Like I'm just saying, what squad? If I had to pick which team I wanted to face, I would much rather see PSG than Newcastle in Champions League. I'd much rather see PSG than Dortmund in Champions League. Fuck around, I'd much rather see PSG than Milan in Champions League. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know that I'm afraid of PSG.
Yeah, no, I wanted PSG this year, to be honest. I was mad about the Bayern. I was like, I take PSG. We beat them with their full squad before when they was at their height.
Yeah, they right for the picking, I think, this year. Yep.
All right, Group G. Me and B text back and forth, and the first thing he said is, "Look at what Man City has been given again."
Man, they done paved out the path of gold. Talking about making sure you show up. They giving them the easy door.
Yep. Man City, Leipzig. I don't even know how to pronounce the third team. Like I don't even know how to pronounce them. And Young Boys. That's the group.
Isn't that a Romanian club, right?
Yeah. And they qualified all the way from like the beginning. Like so they've been through the grind to get there. I mean, it's Man City, Leipzig, right?
Yeah, we cannot have a fake conversation, dog. None of us have seen Kravenza Zaveda ever play. I've only seen Young Boys play once last year for a very particular reason, and I don't know whether or not that was impressive or not. Like, I don't have an opinion of them. So
they got the one American striker, too, don't they?
They do.
Yeah,
that's the reason. But but nonetheless, I mean, you go City, and then you just like, who cares after that? I mean.
And then Group H is almost similar to me with that, but it's a little bit tricky. Barcelona, Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Antwerp.
Shakhtar and Porto are not.
Yeah, no, they ain't no slight
pushovers. Absolutely right.
So I don't know. I mean, Barca's Barca, but
this is Barca without Messi.
True. Barca's Barca. Porto's good though, man.
Yeah, and they get tested in that Portuguese league, week in, week out. So that's why I'm leaning towards Porto.
I mean, they got Benfica, in their league, that's, and I believe Braga's in their league too, right?
Braga is there.
Yeah. So I mean, that's 3 Portuguese teams that made Champions League this year. I mean, so we can say it's a strong. I mean, it's a strong league. Top to bottom.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
All right, your overall thoughts for the Champions League. Who do you have win the B-Dub? But we don't know the matchups for the knockout stage. Just on its face, who you got?
I mean, it's hard, dog. Like, let's take the fan out of it. It's just hard for me to ever bet against Real, and it's hard for me to bet against City. Even despite last year, despite them not having success before last year, it's hard for me to bet against City at least getting to a Final Four. So, I mean, it's one of those, you got to see how the knockout stages come together. Mm-hmm. I think we're pretty spot on as far as, at least 8 of the teams coming out of group. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we're pretty on with that. It's hard for me not to say, Real and City, depending on what side of the tables they're on, what side of the tournament bracket they're on. Again, taking the homerism out of it, I think the Arsenal is one of the most complete squads in the world. I mean, I'm just it's hard, man. And if they coming out of group is like a given unless they just shoot themselves in the foot. So, once you get to the knockouts, then it's just like it depends on the matchups.
All right, B, what about you?
Yeah, I think BW hitting it out the park, man. I'm gonna just go out and say Real Madrid just to switch it up. I mean, everybody get tired of seeing City win everything. They can't lift every trophy. But my bottom line, anybody but Manchester United, I'm good. Anybody but them.
He's consistently real. I mean, I'm going with City until something else changes. I mean, I was texting B. I was like, I told you about that dude Rico Lewis. I was like, it's a random cat. That's how City do. You'd be like, who is this dude? He 19. They didn't got him off the somewhere random for $8 million from somewhere random, and now he's a starter, and he's balling. It's just like,
yeah, that's real.
That's the thing, and they sold so much play. They got money sitting there still. Because they got the feds on them. Let's keep it real. The FFP, that's why they're always having the feds on them.
Right, but we don't know what's going to come out of that. Something needs to come out of it swiftly.
It's got to, because I'm looking at my club. I'm like, we worried about FFP. I'm like, fuck a FFP. They doing whatever they want to. Let's just spin the bread. Like, who cares about
FFP? Yeah, until they throw down some, FIFA throws down some consequences. It's all just talk,
Yeah. All right, this weekend is the big game, Arsenal versus Manchester United on Sunday. I'm not too excited about it, to be honest with you. We're decimated in our back four right now. We just got Reguilon just because we need another back because Malacia is out, Shaw's out, Varane's out.
Are you picking up Cucurella from us?
No. We cool.
No one wants him.
We cool on that. No, because Chelsea's trying to fleece us. He's like, we want you to pay his wage and give us a fee on top of. We's like, we good.
But you are decimated.
We want to send him back in January. That was the thing of like, we only need him until January. Right. For Shaw come and Malacia come back. So we only need you for a 3-month period. And they was like, no, well, keep it for the whole year. We good. We don't want that. We good. But Amrabat just got signed today too, but he will not be playing the Arsenal game. We'll see Højlund for the first time against Arsenal. I mean, we don't know. He's 2019. We asking for a lot of our 2019, 20-year-old.
But he's solid though. I mean,
he's only scored 7 goals in Serie A, man.
But he's young, he's solid. And my question would be, what else do y'all have?
We don't. I'm gonna say, but it's putting a lot of pressure on him. Us not signing a big striker. I'm totally underwhelmed with our transfer thing. I talked about this in the last show. I'm underwhelmed. Amrabat is my favorite decision now. Is coming through. He's our best pickup right now for 11 million at the last minute here in the transfer window. Yeah,
my thought on it is it's a rivalry. It's going to be highly contested. You can never. Everybody puts their best foot out there. Whenever the big.
We ain't running the Emirates in like 10 years.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But even if you get a draw, that's good for y'all. And you got Arteta doing his first 2 months of let me experiment with this lineup to figure out, because I don't want to run into the same situation I was in last year and the year before. So let me just spend a month experimenting with everything. So it depends on what team Arsenal brings out. I mean, if Arsenal brings out their typical 4-3-3, y'all have a problem. But if he brings out that Partey at right back, let me run our former Chelsea striker Havertz at attacking midfield, but on the left side. Like if he brings that squad out, and it depends on is Nketiah starting or is it Jesus starting? Like you don't know what squad Arsenal's putting out there. So like there's a squad.
Why would he just go hard and do what he need to do though to get this dub? Oh, this is a big game. You tinker with Fulham. You don't tinker when you playing big clubs.
That's fair.
I am hoping that is what happens, because if that's what happens, then I text you and I say, hey, bro, just keep turning the TV off. but if it doesn't happen, then I got to hear your mouth, because I don't know what Arsenal's bringing. Every half is different.
Yeah, I mean, Partey don't want to see no parts of Rashford on that side, right?
He
Like
doesn't.
that's not nothing that needs to be happening.
He doesn't. I agree. Now, the reverse of that is
We don't have no back four.
I have a very sneaking suspicion that Martinelli's about to torch y'all if Varane's out.
Really
Oh
like
no,
him.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka is good. Aaron
Yeah,
Wan-Bissaka
but-
will lock him down.
Okay. So
Now
if
the other
was,
side, and the other side is where I worry about.
okay. Okay.
Look, I'm trying.
Let me jump in here just as a neutral.
Fair.
Poor Bruno Fernandes, man. You know, he's in the prime of his career, and
Well,
look at the club around him.
No,
I mean, Casemiro's such a has been. I know, you know, he's got all the medals and trophies, but he's really not doing the business. You already admit the back four is terrible.
Yeah.
Definitely a goalkeeper downgrade. What does your new striker?
No. That's
Yes. No. He's
better keeper.
mistake prone. Tries to cover it with the vocal aggressive posture.
He distributes
It's
better, but he's not a
nonsense.
better shot blocker. He's not a better shot stopper.
But our general back four protected De Gea a lot in general. That therefore if we would have had our normal back four, we can have someone that distributes.
Yeah, let me continue with my assessment.
Go ahead.
And you know, I mean, really disappointed in your wingers, man. I mean, what do they really offer? You know, and your striker, what does the new striker really offer? I see Arsenal running away with this thing. I hope Arteta doesn't tinker like you're saying. I hope they just try to put their, you know, pedal to the metal, make this a statement game for all the other big clubs to come and play Manchester United and just show how easy beatable they are. So, man, I got my Arsenal hat on. One time Arsenal's red. Man, I can't wait to
That's
watch.
how much he hates us. He's wanting to put on Arsenal hat.
Just objective, man.
I love it.
And it's all good, man. Like, look, I came out and I know this is going this either going to be 1-1 or 4-1 Arsenal. Like, if we get a 1-1 tie, it's a win. I'm happy. I am cool with taking that tie and moving forward. But
I worry about Arsenal needing to beat the referee and VAR to win the game. You know, because
I'm glad you recognize that.
So you might need that 4-1 because they're gonna give you a bogus red card. They're gonna make a mistake on an offsides. You know, they're gonna miss a handball.
Take back a Martinelli goal.
You know it's coming. You know it's gonna happen.
Wow. So, I mean, it's at the Emirates. We don't get that love at the Emirates.
Yes, y'all do.
Yeah. Who is the referee?
I will say we get it at home. We don't get it at the Emirates.
All right.
We don't get it there. Come on now.
It's a traveling circus, man. It really is.
Y'all the Cowboys. Y'all the Yankees. Y'all like that's just who y'all are.
Yeah, no, I know. And then I take on the hate. It is what it is, and you got to take it on. You know, when you got so many cups in your background, you got to just kind of it's on your back. You got to put it on and just take that pressure and pull it forward and move.
Hey man, you sound like the Cardinals rooting for before black people was playing. Like, no, last time United won anything.
No, stop. Come on.
No, really, I be feeling like you taking me back to my childhood anytime you talk about the glory days.
Right.
It's been so long, you know.
And Dino, we got a gang of black dudes that was on Manchester United back then. Come on, stop.
All
Like
right.
y'all act like it was y'all act like it was Duke, like just a whole a team of just white guys.
Duke had more black players than white guys when they started winning. Just FYI.
But when they became in the zeitgeist, it was Bobby Hurley, Christian Laettner.
But they also had Thomas Hill starting, Grant Hill starting.
But those weren't the dudes you thought that
Brian,
were like
starting.
your type of black guy. Like let's be honest.
I mean, I'm just saying you can't. What is this type of black guy?
You know what I mean. I'm not.
Go ahead and say it. Put it on record.
No, I'm not. You know what I'm saying. Listeners, y'all know what I'm saying. And there's a reason.
I feel what you're saying. The cornball brother. You pulling the Rob Parker. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And we found out Rob Parker was right about what he said. Even
he was.
Hey, Rob Parker, I think, is the greatest sports journalist of all time.
He is. His opinions are very tops. Very tops.
It's always entertaining.
Very funny.
Our last topic, man, is Messi tearing up the MLS, man.
Wait, we don't get to talk about Chelsea at all?
Oh, I mean, what do we need to talk about with them?
We can't give my boy Brandon a
Go
shot.
ahead, Brandon. What do you have to say about Chelsea?
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, we're really Arsenal.
Right?
Where Arsenal was a year ago. We got the best project in the Premier League. Everybody wants to be a part of a big club. It's just a matter of time, man. I got the grass guys out here cutting, so I'll jump back on mute. But I mean, you see what we doing. Obviously, the best transfer window. I mean, I'm sure all you guys do is sit around and watch who we sign next. And signing Palmer from Manchester City, I think that's a coup, especially if he can play the number 10. It's gonna
money
click.
Y'all pay for him though. Y'all pay 40 mil for a dude that don't even make the squad.
I think he's Phil Foden 2.0. Very happy with the purchase.
Dub, what are your thoughts on the Chelsea?
Look, man, like I think that Chelsea somewhere in Stamford Bridge there's a good squad. I don't know how long it takes to put that squad together, and I'm gonna stop one point. The difference between where Arsenal was and where Chelsea was Arsenal did with a lot of homegrown talent, so we knew what they were and how they were going to fit in. Chelsea, I mean, Chelsea's like the equivalent. If we don't believe you need more people was a team, it would be Chelsea. Like they are like,
Come on.
No, for real. Like it's a lot of talent, but it's hard to put the combination together when you have to. Other than Sterling's having a renaissance in the beginning of this year, I see that. Thiago Silva seems built into the squad. Like he seems like he's not going anywhere. Moses Casiano, he's going to be there because you paid so much money for him. So Casado's going to be there. Like there's certain people that I know are going to be there. You got the young black striker. What's his last name? William. What's his last name?
Nicholas Jackson.
Jackson. I like him a lot because I like his athleticism. I've only seen him play twice, to be honest with you, but I was impressed both times. He missed some sitters, but he likes to get his nose in the box, and I respect that. You got a bad injury of another guy who likes to be in the box. Last match was kind of sucked, but I mean, like you guys, you have talent there, but I don't know. I mean, take for instance Mudryk. Like I don't know where people fit in to the team, and it's going to take a while to unlock that. So my hope is, if I'm a Chelsea fan, which I'm not, my hope is that you tread water enough to hang around the top 7 or 8 in the first half of the season, and then have unlocked it past January, if that makes sense. That's just me being reasonable.
I hear you. I feel like we're playing FIFA, man. I mean, this is how I play FIFA. I get all the best young talent from around the world. You got them playing in 2 different leagues, so you can flip back and forth between the Premier League and Strasbourg. That's where you're getting the time. That's where you're getting the development. You got Patrick Vieira down there coaching them up. It's just a matter of time before you put all the pieces of the puzzle together. And I have no concerns about where we finish in the table. I think we're knocking on the door for top 4 in an excellent season. And I think on a rough season with the growing pains, maybe you're right, 7 or 8. But we're definitely a top half of the table. And we're so young, we're going to be a problem for years to come. For like a Manchester United who's aging out, we're going to have our foot on the neck for the next decade.
No, we're not aging
out. Who's aging out?
And anybody who doesn't work out, we'll just sell them. And then I would also push back on your homegrown piece. I know Arsenal pushes that homegrown flag, and you really waved it, but don't try that. We got Reece James, Colin Gallagher, both starters on the club right now. So yeah, we're doing it from the inside and out.
We getting Conor Gallagher love now. Is that's what we're using him as a love piece?
Hey, listen, man, the engine, the hustle is unmatched. You can't teach that. And then we appreciate you taking Kai Havertz. I mean, talk about a coup. That was the coup of the transfer window right there.
No, I agree. The only thing I would say about Kai Havertz, like I'll say, before he got to Chelsea, he played his proper position and he balled out in it. Chelsea, for lack of having a striker, put him in a striker position that he doesn't play in. He's now playing with a whole new team. Listen, man, I don't like Chelsea players coming over to Arsenal. I don't want United players. I don't want any players from anyone else. I will say that if anybody can put him back together and put him as an attacking midfielder, Arteta can, because of the position Arteta played. So I will not have an opinion on Kai Havertz until probably a month from now. But I will also say we never need him to start. He really can just be a backup for Rice and Partey, whichever one of them gets tired, which is probably Partey. He can really come in at the 70th minute every match and replace Partey, and I'm fine with that. Like, he doesn't have to start ever.
75, 80 million for a backup
No,
midfielder.
I agree. I agree, but it's not my money. And if they put out a squad that can compete in Champions League, then I don't care what. I don't care.
You might be the most patient Arsenal fan. Everything I see from Arsenal fans 2 weeks ago, they were saying get rid of.
Yeah, but that's not knowledgeable, man. Like if you've never seen Kai Havertz play and you never saw him play at his position, and you're just mad because he's not making goals, and after 2 or 3 matches, I'm like, come on, blood. Like that's not reasonable.
I mean, at some point, me and B have to have a discussion. Does Chelsea ruin upfront players? Timo Werner was one. Kai Havertz. These were people I wanted. I was like, yo, I was mad when Chelsea got both of them, and both of them are like they may have ruined them.
It's not about do we ruin them. It's about the pressure of performing at a big club. That's what this is about. And you see, everybody can't handle that. But to BW's point, Nicholas Jackson, man, he looks like Drogba 3.0. I'm so excited with his work rate, the runs off the ball, and just the football and IQ, man. Future's bright for that kid.
He's a monster, and not to belabor the point, but be like, as much as I watch Chelsea, I don't like watch who y'all bring up unless, you know what I'm saying? So like when I saw him fresh, like I just saw him the first match of the season. I was like, who is this dude? Second match of the season, I'm like, oh no, he's to the point where like on my DraftKings, like I pick him to like,
okay.
I'm just like, because I'm just like, dude, he's gonna have his nose around the ball somewhere. Like he's trying to score, which is different than a lot of people who just like to be in the box. He's in the box trying to put his foot or head or something on him. He's impressive, man. I have nothing bad to say about him. He's very impressive.
Where's he from, B?
I want to say Senegalese. Yeah, Senegal.
Before.
La Liga, the Yellow Submarine team.
He came from Villarreal.
Villarreal.
Right.
Yeah.
He came from Villarreal. Okay. Yeah, no, he's look, Villarreal is a good. They've been developing players, man. I mean,
no, man. Shout out to our front office and the scouts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, and I think because Simeone is the one that was on that got all them cats together at Villarreal before he went to Aston Villa.
Right.
That's right. Because Torres too. He's now at Aston Villa starting at center back for them. So man, I get it. I'm gonna take the hate, even though beat us hate on me regardless. Even though Chelsea hasn't beat us. When is the last time Chelsea beat us in the Premier League?
Man, we not on the schedule this week. Stay focused on what's in front of you.
In general, I just like to keep the ongoing tab. I think we're over 3,000 days almost of days that Chelsea has actually beaten.
Hey man, you got to get your kicks where you can.
It's all good. I don't see y'all beating us this year either, but that is what it is. Last topic, Messi, MLS. His first non-win was just the other night. First non-win against Nashville, which is a top team in MLS. I mean, is this just showing how much better he is, that the European leagues are better, or just that Messi's better than everyone else in the world?
Yes.
To both?
Right.
I mean, okay, so I'm at the so the MLS All-Stars play Arsenal.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And this is your all-star team, and you get mollywopped. And I think that if Luton or Nottingham Forest was in the MLS, take away Messi's team, they would win the MLS. Like, no MLS team that could come into the Premier League and finish in the top 18.
None.
Really, not even Miami, but let's take them out.
Maybe LAFC. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
No team. No team. So there's a very significant talent gap. Then you bring on arguably the top player ever, probably a top 3 to 4 player ever to ever lace him up, and he's not in his prime, but he was still balling out in a league where he was still the best player in that league or second best player in that league. If you take Michael Jordan off the 97 Bulls and put him in the Australian league, and something might happen. You know what I'm saying? Like he might win a chip. I don't know. So,
That's a good comparison. That's a
No,
good.
that really is. That
yeah.
really.
So I mean, yeah, the Premier League's better than the MLS. So is every Mexican league. So is the Portuguese league. Like all these leagues are better than MLS, but the MLS is improving, but not at the pace that Messi's talent is. So Messi's talent is just too much. I'm surprised if they lose any match.
Really?
He's too much.
Feels that way.
If they don't lose a match, they'll make the playoffs, and they were in almost last place. They'll make the playoffs if they don't lose.
He's too much, man.
That'd be interesting if he could end up doing because he's still in the Leagues Cup, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
This other cup that's in the MLS Cup. What if he pulled a treble in the MLS in half a season?
Incredible.
It wouldn't shock me.
I mean, the money that's being generated in these other places I talked about before, Nashville's selling his jersey at their game while he was there. Like,
why not? Why not? Revenue.
I mean, it's $220, $200 to go to an Inter Miami game right now.
Yeah, man, it's nuts, man. Let me jump in here. We talked about this. It's almost like we predicted the future. How many years ago was it? 2-3 years ago, we talked about this potentially happening. It finally came through, man. I mean, just look at the impact. I don't even think you can buy a Messi jersey. I believe it's sold out on the MLS store, so you can't even get your hands on one. Like you're talking about, the average ticket price is incredible now for an MLS game. You got the celebrity impact. You're seeing all of that. I know David Beckham, he's really the biggest winner. He got the new stadium that's going to roll out, soccer specific, all the infrastructure, the shops, the hotels around that. And then, Daryl, what we don't know, what's the business implications on the back end for Messi and his family? What kind of businesses are they creating? What kind of licensing deals do they have? What is the community doing for them? And another thing is that you see the compilation of his personal security guard. He got like a Navy SEAL trailing him everywhere he goes, man. It's incredible. Try to find that one on social media.
Beckham did. He got the same deal Beckham did with the LA Galaxy. He gets first dibs at a franchise team.
That and the Apple Plus has boosted as well. So man, it's just been crazy, the impact so far, and I think it's going to continue.
The only piece we missed in our thing was Ronaldo going to LA. That was the other piece
right,
to make that whole thing. If they got Ronaldo to go to like LA, because that's the only place he can play.
And the only thing there is we underestimated his greed. That's what that was.
Right. He Carmelo Anthony'd it.
Hey, we did. We underestimated his greed, and he says he got everybody coming to Saudi League. He kind of did. He kind of was
100%. He did
for sure.
He showed you the path.
Hey, that squad with Firmino, that squad is like, if you look at that squad is a problem.
No, like I said, in the cup for coming up for the FIFA Club World Cup, that's going to be a problem in the FIFA World for just 3 games, like to go through a small bracket with not double. That's going to be a problem. They got to play, like I said, 2 or 3 games to get them a win. Yep. I ain't got to do nothing else the whole season.
Yep,
that's real. Hey, let me ask you this one. Going into next year, what would you rather pay for streaming? MLS pay for it next year, or would you rather stream the Saudi League?
For me, probably still MLS, just because, it's homerism and I like to see that league grow. But as far as like talent and players, I mean, the Saudi League is putting together a bear. So, for me, probably MLS, but you're right. It's a good question. That's a closer question than I would have thought before the beginning of this year.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I am. A year or 2 from now, if they continue to bring in the talent, I think it might be an easy decision to say, man, after Premier League's over, let me check out Saudi League and just go ahead and post up.
Yep.
So as we wrap up, there is a scenario. This is my new conspiracy scenario that I came up with. Inter Miami is already qualified for the CONCACAF Champions League. Ronaldo has qualified for the Champions League, the Saudi Champions League, or the Asian Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a crazy scenario that we could get Ronaldo and Messi back in the FIFA Club World Cup in the same mix with their former teams they've been playing in Europe? Because they're expanding the FIFA Club World Cup next year along with the Champions League. So there's going to be like 3 or 4 European teams. It's going to be like 3 or 4 like CONCACAF teams, a couple of Asian teams, a couple of African teams. They're expanding it. This would be the big money maker. Like nobody watches the FIFA Club World Cup unless your club is in it.
Right. Yeah, you can definitely count me in. I want to see that, man. And knowing FIFA, they'll pull the strings to make sure we get it.
Make sure that happens. Make sure that happens. But man, B-Dub, thank you so much, dog, for coming on with us, man.
I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate the invite. I love listening to the show. Both of you all are extremely knowledgeable, albeit homers and whatnot. Daryl, I'm looking forward to texting with you. Actually, I need a group chat with y'all. Daryl, kick that off.
Yeah. I'll add you to the group chat we got. Yeah. We got one with Tim, Matt, and Tony.
Okay.
Just down in Georgia, as a Spurs fan.
All right, add me to that, man, so we can talk nonsense this weekend, and then, yeah, man. I mean, I want the match to be good. I want it to be exciting. So, Brandon, who do y'all have this week?
We got Luton Town actually later today.
That's the only guaranteed win in the Premier League. So
yes, and I feel so bad for them, man, because it's like they don't have no home games. You know that, right, Doug?
Yes, I know.
They stadium not done. They was like, we didn't know we was gonna win.
And correction on that, we got Nottingham Forest tomorrow.
That's not a guaranteed win.
It should be easy picking.
Hey, man, their front line is a problem. I just told Daryl this last Sunday. Their front line is a problem. And all they do is Tecmo Bowl it. They just throw the ball up in the air and just.
Hey, you just take care of your own business. You know what I mean?
We have so many problems to worry about. It's Champions League, Premier. It's so much stuff to worry about. Who knows?
Such a busy club. Yeah.
But this is as we wrap up, this is what I did. I wanted them to qualify for something. I wanted like Chelsea to be like in Europe, a conference league, having to play in like Transylvania, and like just being like in remote posts and having
no. Everything on our project is right on track. We got time to focus, plan as a team, practice as a team, be ready.
Caribou Cup killers.
Hey, you gotta stop the madness.
Is that we'll wrap up another episode of Just Kicking It. Peace.